A greedy mill owner finds a brutal lesson. His fate remains in the hands of poor villagers he treated like slaves. Will they be able to save his empire? Keep watching and find out yourself.
Chapter 1. The Village.
Deep in a lush valley, the village is surrounded by vast cocoa bean fields. But the beauty of the land was overshadowed by the greedy mill owner named Silas. He owned the cocoa processing mill, hiring the poor villagers to harvest and process the heavy beans in the sweltering heat. Silas paid his workers very less, barely enough to survive. To shut their mouths from complaining, he arranged to give each worker 1 kilogram of rice per month. Because Silas had a secret deal with the corrupt traders to buy the rice for dirt cheap. Even worse, he would secretly skim a couple of 100 grams of rice from every bag, handing out underweight sacks to workers pretending it was a full 1 kilogram. The hard-working villagers knew he was cheating them, but in their desperation, they accepted it as a blessing. No matter how hot it brutally gets, workers never stop sweating for this greedy owner.
Chapter 2. The Desperate Need.
One day, a dedicated worker named Phillip fell into despair when his young son grew terribly ill. With no money left from his bare minimum salary and barely enough rice to feed his family, Phillip approached Silas. He begged him to buy some medication for his son, which will not even cost a fraction of a 1 kilogram of rice.
Do you think I have money growing on trees? In this life, you must work hard for what you want. You want me to pay you extra? Then work overtime until next month or bring me a bag of rice. This is your choice. If you have a problem with my way of work, you can leave.
Terrified of losing his only livelihood, Phillip left empty-handed with a shattered heart. Word of Phillip's recent interaction quickly spread through the village. Recognizing his pain, the poor workers did something remarkable. They all scraped together small portions of their own rice rations, pooling it together so Phillip could trade it for his son's life. Thanks to the villager's sacrifice, the young boy recovered.
Chapter 3. The Karma.
Months passed, and the wheel of fate turned against Silas. Silas found himself in a vicious legal battle with powerful regional rice merchants. He had defaulted on a massive contract, leaving him with an ultimatum ordered by the judge to return 1 full ton of rice immediately, or end up losing his ownership of cocoa mill.
Chapter 4. The Act of Kindness.
Next day, Silas sat outside his mill, weeping with his head in his hands. He was universally hated for his greed, and he knew no will show him sympathy. He will lose his only business he owns. Then, a shadow fell over him. If you enjoy this content so far, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to keep getting more stories like this. It was Phillip, the very man he had denied medicine. With full of affection, he asked if everything is okay. Stunned that gestured kindness, Silas broke down and confessed everything. Hearing the heavy burden of the man who had wronged him, Phillip didn't celebrate. Instead, he gathered the villagers. Together, they made a shocking decision. They brought forth every last grain of rice they had saved for their own households, stacking sacks in front of the mill to pay off Silas's debt and save his livelihood. This act of kindness not only helped Silas, but also changed him for good. He was no longer the same stingy, greedy man he used to be. Next month, he increased workers' salary and began to treat them like a human rather than slaves. This is the end of the story. You must show empathy because you never know if you will be the next victim of this vicious life cycle. Thanks for watching. Know You Motivation.